Eric will be speaking from the Manual Pathway Leadership and Development, Level 3, Planning and Implementing. Eric's title of the speech is Seeing It from the Front Line. It's a 5 to 7 minute speech. Introducing Eric's speech, there were a number of frontline protesters during 2020. Many wanted to make sure their voices were heard, but others wanted to hear from the protesters why they were so passionate about their protesting. Eric has the opportunity to interview a few to gather their thoughts and see it from the front line. Let's all welcome Eric for his speech.
Thank you, Madam Toastmasters, to all the Toastmasters and guests. Before I start my speech, I want to make sure, I believe, Ansonia, you're doing the evaluation for this project. Do you have the evaluation form?
Yes, I have the evaluation form.
Okay. Good morning, Ansonia.
Good morning. And I guess you're going to ask the timer to restart your time.
Well, I tried to make sure that the time didn't start because I wanted to make sure I got that evaluation form out there. So if the timer could actually start the time now, that would be great. 2020 was an experience for all of us. All of us experienced some type of situation dealing with the protests along with COVID-19, and that storm, perfect storm, caused many heartaches, many pains, and it caused people to really wonder and consider how this happened, how we're going to move forward. And of course, there were some atrocities that happened during the 2020 year, of which there were some protests. The one that I'm speaking of in particular is the George Floyd protest. There was a day in Chicago that I attended one of the protests, but what's important is the planning to go to one of these protests. And I thought it very important to make sure that I had all of my ducks lined up in a row. I had to get a location. So I had to find a specific place to be in order for my own personal safety. That was number one, a location. Number two, I had to come with a charger for my phone. This little device here goes with me wherever I go when it comes down to doing things of this caliber, because sometimes your phone may lose a charge, but this right here, I put my phone in here to make sure it stays charged. That's number two. And number three, I had to make sure that I had an entryway and some place to exit during that time frame. So I found myself getting down to my location, which was at State and Illinois in Chicago, downtown Chicago. When I parked my car, I took a walk up to Michigan Avenue. And there's a set of stairs from Illinois that you walk up in order to get on top of Michigan Avenue Street. And I had a plan to actually interview as many people as I could. But particularly, I was looking to interview people who were of different ethnicity than myself. I wanted to interview someone who was not Black. In particular, I found two people that come to my mind. The first one was a young white woman. Her name was Laura. And I asked Laura, why was it so important for her to be at this event? And she gave her honest answer. And I remember it distinctively throughout all the conversations we had. I'll go into a little bit in a second. She said to me, Black lives are important growth, not just for Blacks, but the entire country. It made me step back. And she expounded on it, saying that this country was built by the hands of Black people. And they deserve not only just as much as everyone else, but they also deserve respect. And they didn't get that during the George Floyd protest. And she talked real calm. She was real soft-spoken. She was, casually dressed, long blonde hair. And I listened to her very intently. And I told her, thank you. We took a photo together and she posted it on her Facebook page. And as I'm getting ready to walk away, because I saw the crowd starting to get a little bit bigger, I saw a gentleman by the name of Memo. He was an older Spanish guy. He was dressed in more blue collar, just getting off of work at some warehouse kind of dress code because he had a uniform on. And I walked up to Memo, wasn't sure if he spoke English. And I asked him, why was it important for him to be at this protest? And he said to me, the American life is precious and these atrocities must end. Now, his English was a little broken, but you can tell he was very honest with his answer because his eyes started welling up with tears. And I didn't want him to break down because as the crowd got bigger, there was more law enforcement coming in to move the crowd out. So I had to find my way out of the building or out of Michigan Avenue. But as he kept expounding, his eyes filled up more with water, with tears. And I expressed my appreciation to him. And he asked me who I was. And I told him, I'm just a guy that just wants to see it from the front line. That is all. There's nothing more to it. But for me, it was important for not only myself to see it, but also the 17,000 friends that I had to actually view my Facebook Live video feed to see what I saw directly from the front lines. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Eric.